A hearty welcome to all the wonderful parents and caregivers to Parenting Powerhouse, your go-to resource for all things baby-related. Today we dive deep into the fascinating world of babies' cues and nonverbal communication. Understanding these subtle signs is paramount to effective parenting. It helps us connect, soothe, and nurture our little ones in the most meaningful ways. So buckle up as we embark on this insightful journey of understanding our little ones better. First up, we will delve into the different types of crying, a primary way by which babies communicate. Let's start with the hunger cry, which usually starts softly and gradually becomes rhythmic and loud. It's persistent and can sound desperate as your baby tries to tell you they're ready for a meal. Next, we have the tired cry. This one's often less intense, more whiny than full-blown crying, and usually comes when your baby has had a busy day and needs some sleep. And then there's the discomfort cry. This one's tricky. It's abrupt, sharp, and is often accompanied by physical cues like clenched fists or a red face, signaling something's not quite right. It could be a dirty diaper or maybe a tummy ache. Remember, every baby is unique, and it may take some time to understand your baby's specific crying cues. Next, we move on to the rooting reflex and sucking, two critical cues related to feeding. The rooting reflex is an automatic response in newborns which helps them find the source of food. When you gently stroke your baby's cheek or lips, they will naturally turn their head towards your touch. This is the rooting reflex at work, and it's a clear sign your baby is ready to eat. Now let's talk about the sucking reflex. This instinctive behavior kicks in when the roof of your baby's mouth is touched. You'll see your little one start to suck, helping them feed effectively, whether they're breastfeeding or bottle feeding. It's fascinating to witness these instinctual behaviors in action, isn't it? They are like the secret language of infants, guiding them towards life-sustaining nourishment. Remember, these aren't learned behaviors, but innate responses designed to help your baby thrive. These reflexes are nature's way of ensuring your baby gets the nourishment they need. Now let's explore some physical cues like fussiness, arching back, and clenched fists. Fussiness is a common behavior in babies. It's their way of communicating that they need something, whether it's food, a diaper change, or just some cuddle time with you. So, when your baby seems fussy, try to understand what they're trying to tell you. It might be a simple need like hunger or something more complex like overstimulation or fatigue. What about arching back? This is a less common but equally important cue to watch out for. When a baby arches their back, it could be a sign of physical discomfort or stress. This could be due to many reasons, ranging from a full tummy to more serious concerns like acid reflux. If your baby frequently arches their back, especially during or right after feeding, it might be a good idea to consult a pediatrician. Then we have clenched fists. A newborn often keeps their hands tightly clenched, but as they grow older, this behavior should decrease. Persistent clenched fists in older babies can be a sign of stress or discomfort. It could also be a sign that your baby is focused on something, as babies clench their fists when they're trying to concentrate. So the key is to observe and understand these cues. Once you identify these signs, you can address your baby's needs more effectively. Remember, every baby is unique and their cues can differ. Observing these physical cues can help you address your baby's needs effectively. Moving on, we'll learn about some positive engagement cues like eye contact, reaching, kicking, and wiggling. Let's begin with eye contact. Babies might not be able to say a word, but their eyes can speak volumes. When your little one locks eyes with you, they're not just looking, they're connecting. This is their way of showing interest and paying attention. It's one of their earliest forms of communication, well before they learn to express themselves verbally. Eye contact can signify curiosity, recognition, and even affection. Now let's talk about reaching. This is another way your baby communicates their interest. When your infant extends their hand towards an object, a person, or even a pet, it's because they're intrigued. They want to explore, to understand, and to interact. This reaching behavior is a clear sign that your baby is engaged and eager to learn more about their environment. And then there's the kicking and wiggling. If you've ever seen a baby kick their legs in the air or wiggle around with gusto, you've witnessed pure, unfiltered joy. Kicking and wiggling are your baby's ways of expressing excitement and happiness. They might kick when they see a favorite toy, or wiggle when they hear a beloved lullaby. These movements are more than just physical activity, they're expressions of delight. So, when your baby gazes into your eyes, reaches for a colorful toy, kicks with excitement, or wiggles to their heart's content, they're not just being cute. They're communicating with you in their own special way. They're saying, I'm interested, I'm excited, I'm happy. Remember, every baby is unique and may express these signals differently. So it's crucial to observe and understand your own baby's cues. Their little gestures are their way of engaging with the world and with you, their most important person. These cues are your baby's way of saying, hey, I'm enjoying this. Lastly, we'll cover some sounds and movements like gurgling, coos, turning away, hiccups, sneezing, and yawning. Gurgling sounds and coos are the sweet symphony of babyhood. These delightful sounds typically start when the baby is around 2 months old. Gurgling and cooing are early attempts at vocalizing and a way for your baby to experiment with the voice box. The gurgles and coos are your baby's way of expressing contentment and engagement with their surroundings. Turning away is another cue that your baby might give. If your baby suddenly turns away from you or a toy, it's not personal. It's just your little one's way of saying, I've had enough for now. Babies can get overwhelmed easily, and turning away is their way of taking a break. So don't fret if your baby seems to be ignoring you. They're just regulating their exposure to stimuli. Now let's talk about hiccups. It's not uncommon for babies to get hiccups, especially after a feeding. This is because their digestive systems are still developing. Hiccups can be a sign that your baby has had enough to eat and needs a burp. But don't worry, hiccups in babies are usually not a cause for concern. Sneezing is another common occurrence in babies. While in adults, sneezing might indicate a cold, in babies it's often just a way to clear their tiny nasal passages. So a sneeze here and there is perfectly normal. Lastly, let's touch on yawning. Just like adults, babies yawn when they're tired, so if you see your little one yawning, it might be time for a nap. However, yawning can also be a sign of overstimulation. If your baby is yawning a lot, it might be a sign that they need a quieter environment. These cues might seem simple, but they can provide a wealth of information about your baby. Understanding these cues can help you respond to your baby's needs effectively and build a strong bond with your little one. So, keep your ears and eyes open and you'll soon become a pro at deciphering your baby's language. We've now covered a wide range of baby cues and nonverbal communication signals. We've delved into the different types of crying, explored the rooting reflex and sucking, discussed signs of discomfort like fussiness, arching back, and clenched fists. We've also navigated through positive engagement cues such as eye contact, reaching, kicking, and wiggling. And of course, we've touched upon those adorable gurgles and coos and what it means when your little one turns away, hiccups, sneezes, or yawns. Remember, understanding these cues is a journey that requires patience and keen observation. Each baby is unique and may express their needs differently. So take your time, trust your instincts, and you'll soon be fluent in your baby's language. Thank you for joining Parenting Powerhouse today. Don't forget to share your own tips, like our video, and follow us for more parenting insights.